Yeah, I've seen that you guys did one. When you guys had you in this area. You have options. Sure. Show what you did. Yeah, they're wasting your time, I'm sure. It's a little bit of offers. Yeah, well, I'm happy to be you guys. You have, obviously, I'm not going to be talking to different news. I'm here to do whatever to do. You guys into my information and you guys. I'm really happy to introduce you. Yeah. Actually, did you guys want something smaller initially, or what was the plan? That's great. Something small. Yeah. Did you want to stay in that area? Hey, Angel. Really bad signal here. I'm not sure what's the value of well, Angel. So,
Hey Kevin, I'm calling about your property here on Morningstar. Is this an error that I'm seeing it off market? Is that accurate? Oh, it is. Wow. And that location at that price, I definitely thought you guys were going to sell. Just curious, did you decide that you want to stay and enjoy the home, or is it still a priority for you and Barbara to move? Okay. So you were thinking about potentially finding something that's only maybe one story, a little bit smaller. Was that the idea? Makes a lot of sense. There's nothing more enjoyable in life than heating and cooling a space you don't use, right? I can imagine. Okay. Well, tell me this. I see that you were on the market for 6 months. Did you happen to receive any offers while you were on the market? Wow. Okay. Other than that, how were the showings?
Yeah, oh, yeah, actually, do you mind if I give you my information? You know, whatever it is, it's like, hey, I'm ready to move. Hey, I'm ready to produce.
So fairly good traffic, it sounds like. You did have at least 10 showings throughout the period you're on the market. That is actually generally every 10 showings should produce one offer. So it sounds like you were headed in the right direction. Maybe, I could take a look at the situation. Perhaps it was a negotiating issue with your agent or follow up. I don't know. But let me ask you this. I see that you're on the market at 650. If you were to receive that today, would you take it?
Okay.
You would. Okay. Some sellers say, no, that was our lowest price. And at this point, we want 700. We're so annoyed with this process. So yes, you would take 650. Gotcha. And have you already located that next property that you are going to be moving to? Oh, goodness. What an awful situation to be in a holding pattern, not knowing whether you're coming or going. I feel for you guys. Yeah. Okay. So it sounds to me like it is still a priority and you're definitely committed to doing this. Have you already chosen an agent that you feel comfortable working with this time? Mhm. Yeah, that's really a savvy thing to do in this market. You're heading in the right direction. In terms of what you guys have been looking for as a family, and again, my intention is always to do a great job given the opportunity. What would be important to you? What specific qualities are you and Barbara looking for in the person that you would hire this time?
So, okay, is there anything else? I'll text you my information. If you ever need anything, just reach out. If you do buy or sell a house. Sounds good. I'll text that.
Absolutely. It sounds pretty simple to me. Someone who has the professional integrity and knows exactly what it's going to take to get the job done. And then based on the fact that, you are downsizing and if you could pay all cash, that would be great. I'm also assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, fighting for every penny possible is something you're looking for. Is that right? Okay, cool. I made a note of that. And I can tell in your voice that you're pretty excited about making this move. How does the rest of the family feel? Are there a lot of memories in that home that maybe it's going to be hard to leave? Yeah. Well, let me ask you, do you think that they're going to be upset with you if you sell this property? Whatever you say is fine. I'm just curious. That makes perfect sense to me. Okay. So the kids will be on board. They will miss that house, but they want to see mom and dad happy. You never know. Fair enough. And do you already have agents coming out to meet with you? Have you already scheduled appointments?
Would you like me to send you my information? And
Sure.
questions or anything else? Okay. No
Mhm.
problem. Congrats on the contract, by the way. I'll delete you from my system here. I got you. Well, it's a beautiful house. I born and raised in Canada.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you have
Okay. So it sounds like timing is important to you. When do the kids graduate?
$2 million.
Okay. But when do they finish this year of school? May. Okay. So realistically, if you were to put your home back on the market, say next Thursday, Thursday is the best day of the week, by the way, to list whoever you work with. But that would probably be end of May, early June closing realistically. Does that align with the kids' school year and when you would want to be moving? Okay. Mhm. And your last agent, they were with Monument, is that right? Okay. I'm not sure if they shared this with you for your own knowledge. If you chose another Monument agent, it would appear as the same listing. You would have to wait those 30 days for it to look new. However, if you chose any other brokerage, whether it's EXP, LPT, Weichert, whoever you like, the listing would be brand new the next day. Are you interviewing agents who are not with Monument? Okay, great. Well, just by you saying that demonstrates why it would be a good use of our time for us to get together. I typically prefer to meet via Zoom for my own safety, just because we don't know each other yet. What's a better time for you? I have today at 3, or I could do tomorrow at 11. Okay. Yes, it would be best if the three of us could be on Zoom. Obviously, if we feel it's a good meeting of the minds, I would come and see the property at some point. I just, since we don't know each other, I feel safer to meet on Zoom first. Okay, so it sounds like 11 tomorrow would be better than for you guys. Okay, perfect. And what's important to you that you'd like me to send over? Did you want to see track record, references? What would you want to see that would ensure this is a valuable use of 15 minutes for you and Barbara? Yeah, go ahead and Google me right now. Tell me what you see. I don't like to brag. Absolutely. So, one of the things that you mentioned was timing. And for that reason, what I'd like to do, if it's acceptable to you, is provide you with clients I'm working with right now, because they were just 3, 4 weeks ago in the same position that you were, deciding, do we wait 30 days? Do we wait for the summer? And I think that would give you a better idea, because I realize I'm a realtor. You probably think, hey, she just wants to make money. She just wants to put it on the market. I get that. But if you want to talk to my clients about their thoughts on timing, I'm sure they would be transparent with you and share what's true for them. So I can include those numbers. Yeah. Yep. I'll give you a list of clients I'm currently working with right now. Awesome. All right. Well, I do not have your email address or your wife's number. Can you share both with me, sir? Did you say Gmail or Yahoo? Gmail. Okay, perfect. Got it. And in terms of price, we talked about 650. Is that number firm, or did you have a little bit of flexibility built into that in case someone wanted to negotiate with you? Okay. And when you say how strong the offer is, do you mean the other terms, like when it's going to close, or what do you mean by that specifically?
Just out of curiosity, is the address on Wayne Plant, 234 Wayman?
Sure. Yeah, 650 with 30,000 in closing costs isn't really 650. I'm with you on that. I gotcha. Okay. Well, this has been very helpful. You've given me a lot of information so that I can serve you better. What other questions do you have for me before we meet tomorrow at 11?
No. But no,
It's a great question. Were you previously paying your agent 6% to sell that home total? Okay, so you had agreed to 5.5. So I assume if I could show you a way where you'd only have to pay 4%, that would be ideal. 4% out of your pocket, doesn't matter where it goes. Perfect. Yeah, I'll show you that plan when we get together tomorrow at 11. A lot of my clients have been real excited about it. And when you call them, feel free to ask them, hey, she told me about only paying 4%. What does that mean? And they'll share with you. All right. Now, if what I say makes sense and both you and Barbara feel super confident that I can get your home sold in the time that you're looking to get it sold, are you open to the possibility of hiring me?
okay, I don't know what guy.
Your timing is impeccable. The fact that we're meeting now and with the kids' school year the way it is, you couldn't have better timing. Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate the opportunity. I'm super excited to show you and Barbara something different because I'm sure you're pretty exhausted hearing the same nonsense. And I look forward to connecting with you tomorrow at 11. My pleasure. Bye, Kev. Whenever I set an appointment, I always follow it up with a video because I'm just a stranger over the phone. And we want them to start getting comfortable with us. And I'm going to share with you my script. No gatekeeping. It's a little hard with all this equipment. Good morning, Kevin and Barbara. I just wanted to give you a face to the stranger's voice over the phone. Thank you again for providing me the opportunity to meet with you tomorrow at 11 a.m. So the purpose of our meeting is to give you 3 valuable pieces of information. The first is, what is top dollar for your home in today's market? Obviously, you tried for 6 months. Was it the home? Was it the agent? Was it the marketing plan? We're going to take a look at that together and decide what is top dollar. Number 2, how long should it take? If you're to put your home on the market next Thursday, realistically, when can you expect to be sitting at the closing table receiving money in your pocket? Obviously, that's very important to you because you can't purchase your next home without knowing timing. And then number 3, after everything is said and done, commissions are paid, closing costs, how much money are you, Kevin, and Barbara going to put in your pocket at the end of the day? Because after all, isn't that all that really matters? So if these 3 pieces of information will be valuable and useful to you, I'm very excited to bring that value to you tomorrow at 11 a.m. See you then. I used to pay for BombBomb to send it so I could see that they could open it. But then I realized right in Follow Up Boss, you can see it the same. So don't spend extra money you don't have to spend. And I'm just going to send the video via BombBomb, Follow Up Boss. I put them in Follow Up Boss so that my assistant can call them to confirm. And then I'm also going to send them all my references and track record. I have a template email. If anyone wants a copy of my template email, send me a DM and I'm happy to send it to you. If you have any questions, drop them in the chat. Happy to help. So it's currently 9:18 and I've already set one appointment for a $650,000 home.
Hello, yes, sir. I was actually looking for a date. Hey, Dan, this is Drew.
Yeah, I'll just have a.
I saw it came off the market a couple months ago. And we were to see if people were so serious about actually selling this.
Oh boy, you are the 4th one this morning. They must have released some kind of a list or something. I've already got a realtor engaged, and they really need another one. Thanks for calling. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
Take it off. Press the X.
There's so much time in between. I don't know if y'all are able to go back in the recording, but that was a good one. Do I think brokers open works? Jay, I like doing brokers opens for 2 different reasons. In the luxury ranges, I do it before the home goes on the market. It's not even on MLS yet. We do a private caravan with like a closed group of luxury agents here. And they oftentimes will have a client and we can do a deal off market because people in the higher price ranges, they like to avoid paying more taxes than they have to. So without the sale being published on the MLS, they typically can keep their property taxes lower. So that's one of the types of brokers opens I like to do. The other brokers open that's really useful is when you know the home is overpriced and you don't want to be the person to tell the client. So I have sheets at the brokers open where I ask them to write, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel the home presents, the staging, blah, blah, blah. And then at the bottom, it says, what would you have listed this home for? Or what do you believe a buyer would pay for this home? And I make sure every single person fills it out. And 12, 15 people come through the open house and you're listed at 850 and they all say 700. The seller can cuss out every agent that came to the house, but it does make them think, are we overpriced? And it's much more impactful coming from other people rather than you. It's a great question, Jay. Hey, I don't want to interrupt y'all prospecting. I'm answering questions. You want me to mute myself?
No, don't mute yourself.
Hey there. Do I have the pleasure to speak with John? Hi, John. I'm practically your neighbor here in Frisco. My partner Kevin and I have helped a lot of families in Frisco Lakes. I was just curious, is this an error that I'm seeing the home off market? It's not an error. Oh, okay. Have you guys decided to stay and enjoy the home, or is it still a priority for you to get top dollar? I can understand why. It's such a lovely community. Okay. Well, my intention is always to be helpful and never nosy. Is there any particular reason why you even thought about going through the pain of listing the property? Of course. If anything changes, Mr. Lawler, I'm always happy to help you. Never going to convince an unmotivated seller to be motivated. It's okay. Patty, you're in New Jersey. The taxes are a little bit different than they are here in Texas. Sometimes, hello. Sometimes, Patty,
No, they're right. You're not.
the taxes don't get registered when the sale isn't on MLS. Because what happens, so what I mean by that, if somebody purchased that home in 2018 for $550, and now it,
All right, do tell.
sorry, somebody answer the phone. And in 2025, they go to sell that property and the property fetches 1.2 million. Right now, the homeowner is being taxed on a $550,000 price. So a lot of people, what they look to do is if they buy it off market, they can keep the tax rate still at 550 because the $1.2 million sale hasn't registered. Obviously, New Jersey is a little bit different, Patty, because I've sold a few off-market homes there, and the town tax appraiser calls you like within 2 months. But people do still try to get away with it for as long as they can in those upper price ranges, because it's a big difference for people. For Texas and New Jersey, the taxes are very high, property taxes. So, if you can save 20, 30,000 a year, a lot of people will say, hey, even if I save for 1 year, that's better than nothing. Yeah, you're welcome. These are great questions. Happy to answer any others y'all have. I am prospecting live. So far, I've set one appointment. It's 9:30 here in Texas. My goal every day is to set 2 because typically one's not going to work out. They're going to cancel. They're not motivated, whatever. And the other one's typically going to be a good one that you can list. Or maybe they both cancel some days. Just how it goes in the game. When you've been cold calling long enough, so I cold call from Vulcan 7. I used to use Red X and I've used Mojo. You can see who the listing agents are. You can see how long it's been on the market, and you can start to tell certain trends. For example, there's a lot of listing agencies that when you see it, it's a $500 flat fee agency. And that was probably a first sale by owner that doesn't see value in an agent. If they've been on the market for a long time, they tend to get desperate. Like when you see that they were with I don't want to name the agencies, but you can figure that out on your own. If you cold call enough, you'll see the same flat fee agencies. And sometimes people will be on the market with them for 60, 90, 120 days, and then it expires. Those are generally really good sellers because at this point, they feel that they have exhausted all their options. They see that it doesn't work. And hi there, I may have called the wrong number. I'm looking for Mr. Arvel Arnold. Yes. Thank you for answering my call. I'm curious, is this an error that the home on Regal Lane is off market or is it still available? Yes. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. I'm a real estate agent and I'm curious about the home on Regal Lane. It looks like it was only on the market for 2 weeks and then removed. Do you happen to know if that's an error? Okay. Yes, I do see the area code. You'd be surprised. I'm from New Jersey. How many people in other states own real estate in Texas? So I didn't want to automatically make any assumptions. Of course. I appreciate your help, Miss Arnold. You take care. Bye bye. Always be nice to people, even when they're rude to you. I've learned that living in the South. In New Jersey, I would fight with them, but I've learned how to be a lot nicer to people. In New Jersey, we like to fight. It's like our love language. Hi, Lindsay. My name is Jessica Nelson. I've helped a couple of your neighbors in Woodbridge, excuse me. And I'm curious to find out, is this an error that the home is off market? Is it still available for qualified buyers to present you with an offer? I am a real estate agent and my direct number is 214-751-6722. Thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, bless your heart. Exactly, Jay. You'd be surprised though. A lot of the family members, if you're very kind to them, they'll end up giving you the phone number of who you should be talking to, and they'll even vouch for you. I recently had a listing in McKinney, and the actual owners, for some reason, their number was not listed, but the daughter-in-law kept getting all the phone calls. And she told me, she was like, I hate all the realtors that called here. I didn't give any of them my dad's number, but I'm going to call my dad and make sure he interviews you. And I don't think I would have gotten that listing had I not been kind to the family member. And I wasn't pushy. I wasn't like, oh, give me his number. You got to give it to me. I just was kind of like, okay, you know, what does he need? How can I help? And because she wanted to help her dad, she, you know, she gave me the number. Actually, she called him for me. So I promised to go live for 90 days so everyone can see exactly what I do to get listings. It is not complicated. I get cussed out every day, just like everyone else. People hang up on me. People aren't interested. But, you know, if it was easy, everyone would do it. I don't know that many single mothers that can make $500,000 a year working from the time they drop their kids off at school to the time they pick their kids up. If someone could show me another industry other than prostitution, I would do it. But to me, this is insane. The fact that people don't pick up the phone and make cold calls, it's insane. Do you call back the ones that are rude? And like, I call them back right away sometimes. If I know that it's the right home and the right seller, like, because sometimes you call wrong numbers, right? And if they actually sound like they need a move, I'll call them back if they cuss me out or hang up. And I generally say something to the effect of, listen, I get it. If I was you, I'd hang up on me too. But my only job here is to help you. And it sounds like you really need help and you're tired of people wasting your time. And generally, like after a while, they'll loosen up. Or sometimes they'll be like, I'm going to call the police. You know, either way, I make a second attempt. And I have no problem reminding people, hey, I know where you live. Like when they get really crazy with me, ma'am, sir, just so you know, I have your address and you don't have mine. Just to remind them, like, hey, calm down. Patricia, with old people, I'll send them a letter because sometimes they're not that good with technology, especially on the price point. If the price point is like over $1 million, I will send them a letter with my card, like a magnetic card to stick on their fridge. And I'll send it in like a cute papyrus note, not like a, you know, an EXP note. Hello? These are great questions. What else do y'all have for me? Oh, that's a good one. For just bring a buyer. Great question. Whenever someone says to me, just bring a buyer, I'll ask them, what are they willing to pay? And generally or I'll ask them, what do they pay their previous agent? And they generally will say 5 or 6%. And then I'll ask them, this is easier to role play with you, Patricia, if you ever want to call me, but so bring me a buyer. Okay, great. I bring buyers to sellers every day. That's my only job. Just curious, what were you willing to pay your previous agent? Were you paying them 6%? Yeah, I was paying him 2 and paying the other agent 3. Okay, great. So total, you're willing to pay 5%. Is that right? Yes. If I could show you a way that you could get your home sold and only have to pay 4%, does it matter to you who you pay? What do you mean? Just by you asking me that question demonstrates why we should get together. Wouldn't that be in your best interest to get the price that you want and only have to pay 4% instead of 5%? Yeah, great. Let's meet. I charge 4% on all listings, Patty, and I also charge the client for staging, generally about $3,000, $4,000, depending on the size of the home. And sometimes we do end up paying out the other agent, but I negotiate all of it. And typically what happens, and this is the way I explain it to clients, I just had this 2 days ago at a listing appointment. He said, well, if I agree to pay you 4% and the buyer's agent comes in at 3%, are you going to cut your commission? And I said, no, absolutely not. I don't cut my commission ever, just like I don't cut your price. Let me ask you, we're pricing at $450. If they came in at $475 and wanted 3%, do you have any issue paying it 7%? And he said, well, no, I don't mind. I said, great. Now you understand the concept of negotiation and why you need a strong agent who can negotiate on your behalf. Let's get to work. And we had a listing recently where we paid out actually a total of 8%. But the client was happy to pay it because it was the highest offer by like 60,000. So they were like, no problem, we'll pay 8%. As long as they're netting more money, they typically don't care. But it's very hard for them to believe that you're going to do that until they either see it in action or they've spoken to previous clients that can reiterate to them that this is fact. Because otherwise it sounds like a scam or like you're bullshitting them. So once you get your first experience where it worked and you did it right, you want to get a testimonial from that seller. And then you also want to get a review from that seller. And you want to add them to your list of sellers that potential clients can call. Because they're not going to believe you. They're going to think this is some realtor just telling me some nonsense to make more money. But when your clients tell them and your clients are raving fans, they're like, oh, okay, this is real. This is serious. So definitely get some, once you start doing that, have some testimonials. Okay, I have a gorgeous home that is priced well. I need the right buyer. It's over 3,100 square feet. Most people here want 2,500 one story. Jay, are you saying that this is your listing right now that you're dealing with? Or this is an objection you're getting? Because I'm going to answer it 2 different ways. Is this an actual listing you have right now? Or is this something that you're looking to get and you're getting that objection? Okay, it's your listing right now. So whether or not we like it, and us as agents, we always want to defend our listings. We're all guilty of it. We all we start to feel like we're the homeowner. We have to look at reality. And here's the rule of thumb, and all of you can write this down. If you've been on the market for 14 days and you've received less than 10 showings, your property is 10% overpriced. If you've been on the market for 14 days and you've had 10 showings or more and no offers, you're 5% overpriced. If you've received 2 to 3 offers at your list price or more within 7 days, then you underprice the home. So my question is, how long have you been on the market and how many showings have you had? If you've had less than 10 showings in 14 days, then you need to reduce the price by 80,000. Probably your client's going to have a heart attack. Yeah, you need to reduce by 10%. And when people say the home is too big for them, that is code for the home is too expensive for them. I went to UCLA and my roommate was an actress, and I learned from her going on all these auditions. When someone says you look tired, that means you're too old for the part. When someone says that you're too youthful, that means you're too skinny or your boobs aren't big enough for the part. It's this, you have to be the same way with these listings. So when someone says that the property is too big, but it's very nice, they're in a nice way of telling you it's overpriced. And when you follow up with people, the 3 questions we want to ask, and it's very normal for agents to say things like, oh, did you like it? Hi, I believe I might have called the wrong number. I'm looking for Paranjit. Motgari? No, I think I've called the wrong number. I'm sorry to have disturbed you today, ma'am. Bye-bye. The 3 questions that you want to ask as a listing agent to every person that shows the home is, number 1, were you able to get in the property? This seems like a stupid question, but how many times have you found out later that they messed around with the lockbox, they couldn't get in, and that client was only in town for the weekend, and they probably would have bought it had they seen it? So number 1 is, did they get into the property? And you can generally help people to reschedule, because sometimes agents will tell me, oh, I'm away for the weekend, I'm on a vacation. I'll go over there and show it to their client for them because I want to get a deal done. Or I'll pay a showing agent to show it to them. The second question that you want to ask anyone who shows your properties, like whether it's you asking the buyer or you asking the buyer's agent, when can I expect to receive your offer? And that's going to be very uncomfortable for you to ask in the beginning, because you could be like, oh my God, that's so forward. But you're going to get an answer. What you're going to get is, oh, well, they're still looking. Oh, well, they really liked it, but they didn't want to insult you by offering 20 grand under asking. And you're going to start to get answers on why the home isn't selling. And then the follow-up question is going to be, at what price would your client purchase this home? And you need that information, because every one of my weekly, every Tuesday we send a weekly market report to all of our clients. Excuse me. And we answer those questions from the buyer's agent or the buyer's viewpoint. So when 10 buyers have said, hey, I would pay $700,000 for this home, and you're listed at $800,000, you as the agent are not an asshole. You're not telling them reduce the price because you feel like it. You're helping them to see what buyers will pay for their home, and you're giving them information so that they can make a decision that best suits them. And typically what happens is, if they really want to sell, they're going to reduce. And if they don't want to sell, you can save the relationship and work with them again when they are ready, when the market is where they want it to be. For example, I have a client right now in Flower Mound. We got probably 8 offers during the time we were listed. The market was just not where they wanted it to be. And we decided together that we were going to take it off. And now a year later, we're relisting it again. We have an offer coming in. It's probably going to be sold 60 or less days. But if I would have just banged on them, reduce the price, they would have never continued to work with me. They would have saw me as the problem. But because it was the feedback from the buyers and the buyers' agents that was given to them in a professional report, they felt I was just doing my job. And there's a very big difference in that if you want to continue to have positive relationships with your clients and keep them for life. Yeah, my pleasure. Jay, I love that you actually ask questions because everyone else just stares at me. So this is great. I don't know if y'all can hear, but our prospecting room is going in behind me. We have like 11 people just banging on the phones, all killers. If any of you want to join our prospecting room, just DM me and I can give you the link. But you have to be a prospector, not a watcher. Just playing. You can watch. I'm working on a broker open fire and listening to you at the same time. Gotcha, girl. Where in North Carolina are you? Are you in Holden Beach? Ooh, I need more people to pick up the phone. I say this every day. I need more pickups. Patty, when I was in New Jersey, I called from Red X and I really liked it, but that was in like 2019, 2020. I mean, I used to be able to talk to 14 people in 1 hour. I don't know if that's changed because here I talk to like 6 people an hour. There's just so much call blockers. It's really hard to get through to people. I'm transitioning into the Enzo dialer, so it's going to be a lot easier. But right now I call from Vulcan. Hola, estoy buscando el dueño de una propiedad en Panamera Drive, Carrollton. Si quieres vender esa casa, llámame a 214-751-6722. Gracias. I would definitely get, once I know how to use the Enzo, I'll teach other people how to use it. I'm learning right now. But from what I see, people are talking to like 20, 30 people in 1 hour. It's superior to everything we're using right now. Hi, Miss Tina. Give me a call when you have an opportunity. Curious if you're open to receiving an offer from a qualified buyer on the property in Carrollton. My direct phone number is 214-751-6722. Thank you, Miss Nguyen. Ah, 26 more minutes. Then I switch my source. I usually do 1 hour of expireds before I switch to the different source. Patty, you're gonna laugh. I use the single line dialer. I know it's so bush league. But sometimes I find the multiple dialers like confusing because I'll be talking to somebody and then it picks up. And when I do get someone on the phone, I typically talk to them for like 30 minutes. James, so the best time to start expireds is at 7:45, but I'm a mom and I take my kids to school and it's very important to me. If you have teenagers, it's very rare that they open up and actually talk to you. So that ride to school in the morning is like the only time my kids really talk to me. So truthfully, I get on the phone at about 8:30 every morning. And I do an hour of expired calls and then I switch to another source for an hour. Sometimes I call FSBOs, past clients, centers of influence. And then after that hour, I'll go out for a walk and then, move on to the rest of my day. I do a minimum of 2 hours of calls a day. Y'all have great questions. Thank you for participating. Makes it more exciting. What else do y'all have for me? Hi, Mr. Sanborn. My name is Jessica Nelson. If you go on homes.com, you can look me up. See, I'm a real person here in town, not anywhere else. I'm curious to find out, is this an error that your home on Chaddington came off the market unsold? I see all that you were willing to do, contributing to a buy down, and it looks like you really went out of your way to help buyers with this property. I'm just curious if that's an error or if it is still available for a qualified buyer. My direct phone number is 214-751-6722. Again, my name is Jessica Nelson. If you wanted to look me up before calling me, I totally understand. Thank you, Mr. Sanborn. Are morning calls better than evening calls? No, Camilla. If I didn't have kids, I would make calls entirely in the afternoon. More people pick up, they're in a better mood, and for some reason, it just seems to be the more fruitful hour. Making calls from like 3 to 6. I have an agent, his name is Anthony. You guys have probably seen the Italian Cowboy. He only makes calls in the afternoon, and he's listed 27 homes his first year, calling expired and listed and sold. And this year he's on track to do 50 as a second year agent. All he calls is in the afternoon. For me personally, in my schedule, I'm just not able to do that because my kids have sports and stuff. James, any scripts I prefer? The script you use. The more you get on the phones, the more you're going to realize what doesn't work. Like if every time you say that thing, someone hangs up, stop saying it. If every time you say that thing, people talk to you more, keep saying it. So a lot of the things that I say have just been 4 or 5 years of making calls every day and figuring out what keeps people on the phone and what gets hung up on. If you're looking for a good place to start as a foundation, Mike Ferry scripts, of course. If you're a little bit more versed, you've been doing it for a while, then I would look at Aaron Novello's scripts. But again, like you're going to figure out what works for you and what doesn't just based on the results you're getting. What'd she say? Do you find that a lot of people look you up before calling you back? Maddie, truthfully, I leave probably like 50 voicemails in one day and I'll get 2 or 3 callbacks. And sometimes they do. Like I'll know that someone has looked me up because they'll be like, you went to UCLA and you're a realtor. And in order to find out that information, they have had to go like read my profile somewhere. Or I've had people say, you moved here from New Jersey. So like I'll know that they have looked me up somewhere. And typically the people who do that, they're serious about selling. The reason why they're looking people up is they're deciding who is worth their time to call back. It's a good sign when that does happen. Yeah, what works there doesn't always work here. That's true. Anthony calls new expireds and old expireds. He only calls expireds. He doesn't call FSBO, just listed, just sold, probates, nothing else. All he calls is expireds, new and old. Oh. Hi, this message is for the Axelrod family. My name is Jessica Nelson. Our kids have probably played each other in sports. We're all in Frisco ISD here. I'm curious to find out if this is an error. I'm seeing your home came off the market at that price, and as big as you are, I was a little bit surprised. So if you are still available for qualified buyers and you would be open to working with someone who brings you a buyer, please give me a call. My number is 214-751-6722. Thank you and have a blessed day. Patty, my mentor, Erin Novello, sells a course on how to do probates. I haven't done them yet, so I'm not qualified to teach on it. I thus far in my career, I haven't needed to call them, but it makes a lot of sense why somebody would, especially if you live in Florida. There's just so much opportunity. When I adjust pricing, what do you say? Price adjustment script. Jay, is it Jay or Jane? I'm sorry. Jane, if you want to, I'm going to put my number in the chat. If you want to send me a text, I'll send you a template that you can use. Most of my price adjustments. Hello? Hello? Oh. Most of my price adjustments, they actually will tell me, hey, we're ready to drop the price. And it's based on something that I use called a weekly market report. If you text me, I'll send you a template so you can see what it looks like. Happy to help. This would be so much better if more people answered the phone today. But I'm glad I can help y'all. What's up, Bob? Ladies and gentlemen, we got a big coach in the house, Mr. Villanueva. Good to see you, friend. Am I going to see you at Superstar? At this point, I think I might switch my number because we've only had like 7 pickups in 47 minutes. Not good. What's up, buddy? It's good to see you here. I'll be at Superstar this summer, so I'll see you. It's the first time I'll have seen you in like 4 or 5 years. It's been a while. The whole crew's coming too. Dave Knight will be there. Jim Gilday. I'm sure a lot of people you know. We're all coming. Dave, you know Bob Villanueva, right? Yeah, they're all in the prospecting room. If anyone needs a prospecting room, I have one. Just hit me up. Happy to give you access. Abby, if you want a template of my weekly market report, it's free. I love that you want to purchase it from me. I really appreciate that you see that type of value. But right now I'm just giving things out for free because this is where I'm at. I'll drop my number in the chat. You can send me a text. Let's go. What other questions do y'all have for me about prospecting? You're probably wondering why I'm not talking to more people. This is very normal. Thanks, Bob. Sometimes when it's been a while and like nobody answers, I will get so frustrated. I will go and door knock these expireds if they're local to me. I would encourage all of you to do the same. There are times where you'll be on the phone like 3 days in a row and you really haven't had somebody motivated answer. And there's not a lot you can do to change that, right? Like if you're putting in the hours, you're doing a role play, but like the right people just aren't answering, you can't control that. So what I typically like to do to break up that frustration and that energy is I'll make a map of the expireds that I want to go door knock, and I'll get out there and go knock on their door. Sometimes they're like, what the heck are you doing here? This is weird. And other times they're like, wow, nobody's knocked on my door. You must really want my listing. So it could work either way for you, but definitely try it. If you're just not having a lot of answers and you're hungry to go and get a listing and help somebody that needs your help, go out and knock some doors. Jesse, what do we bring with us when we door knock expireds? I know somebody has to have an answer to that. If you're going to go door knock and expired, what should you have with you? What's the most important thing to you? Oh, come on. Somebody has to have the answer. What do we bring with us when we door knock? What is it you're going there to do if you're door knocking and expired? I think there's a little bit of a delay on this live, so I might as well just answer it. CMA listing brochure. Yeah, you can bring those things. It's going to be hard to bring a specific CMA for everyone. You can have your iPad with, yes, a listing agreement. That's it. You got it. You should always have, whenever you go door knocking, I always have 3 blank listing agreements in my car and 1 with me in my hand. I do tend to bring my iPad with me so that if I need to pull up a CMA fast, my seller's packets on there, all the things that you would want to go through during your listing presentation should be on your iPad and ready to go. But I would bring your nope, no answer. I would bring your listing agreement in paper form. People will invite you in, show you the house, and you will be able to get a listing. Is it going to be every time? Absolutely not. Otherwise, I wouldn't be making calls. I'd be door knocking all the time. But 1 out of 10 is probably going to invite you in. And I would not knock them when it's dark outside, especially if you're a guy. Never knock when it's dark outside. All right, we're going on an hour now. Hi there. Do I have the pleasure to speak with the homeowner at Ruidosa Avenue? Jessica Nelson. I feel like I met you before. Did you purchase this home within the past 4 years? Yeah, I think I was the listing agent when you purchased it. Anyhow, my name is Jessica Nelson, and I see that the home came off the market. Is that an error? Is it still available? Okay. Sounds like I called you at the right time. When you go to put the home back on the market, what's going to be important to you in the person that you choose to work with this time? What are you looking for? Yeah, I can appreciate that. Pretty simple. Someone who can show you what it's going to take to get it done and fight for you to get every penny and make it smooth and easy for you. Is that right? Okay, awesome. Well, I can imagine you've heard from every realtor in the Metroplex and probably 25 investors at this point. When will you be interviewing people to assist you? Okay. Do you already have somebody in mind that you think you want to work with? Gotcha. if someone were to show you a plan that you could get your 370 and receive it within 45 days or less and only pay 4% in commission, is that something you would spend 15 minutes to explore further? That's a great question, and I appreciate you asking me that. I could meet with you either in person or via Zoom. What are you more comfortable with? Yeah, I mean, if I it would be very difficult for me to show you all the information over the phone because, you can't really see it. But what I could do, because I can imagine you're pretty busy, is I can meet with you via Zoom if you didn't want me to come over. It'd be about 15 minutes. What's typically better for you? Are you afternoons, weekends, mornings? What's generally a good time? My name is Jessica Nelson. Who do I have the pleasure of chatting with? Lupe, do you remember me? I remember you. I'm going to look you up in my system right now. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Then we probably sold it to the wholesaler then. And then you purchased it from the wholesaler. That makes a lot of sense. I remember this property well. How much work did you guys do to it? It looks like you did quite a bit. Quartz countertops. Probably hasn't been your favorite experience sitting there holding it while the other homes in the neighborhood are selling. I can imagine that's frustrating. Well, Lupe, I'm in the job of helping people like you, but I can imagine that I'm a stranger. It's probably hard to decipher who's worth your time and who isn't. Did you want me to send you an email with like some track record references, just so you could ensure that I am worth your time? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Is there a good email for you guys where I can send that? Go ahead. I'm ready. Okay. I got you. I heard GLT and I apologize. The rest cut off if you don't mind repeating. At I I didn't hear the part before org. Did you say hot org? Outlook. Got it. Got it. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, great. I can send that over. Lupe, I can imagine your job is not to be selling me to your partners. What's important to them? Is it timing? Yes, ma'am. My job is to make your life easier. I look forward to hearing from you and your partners. Talk to you soon. Bye bye. Again, follow up video. Hi, Lupe. I just wanted to give you a face to the stranger's voice over the phone. Thank you again for taking the time to chat with me. I'm going to go ahead and email you all of our references and track records so that you can see what we would present to you be worth your time. Again, the 3 pieces of information that I could assist you and your partners with. What is top dollar in today's market? Is there a relocation company that we can promote this property to for relo buyers? Is there a different plan than what has currently been done that can help you to get more money? Number one. Number two, how long should it take? I understand that there's maybe hard money involved. If there's not hard money involved, you're still carrying a property, which comes with a lot of issues. You know, there's issues of squatters. I don't need to tell you, you guys deal with it on a daily basis. So time matters for you. How long until you're sitting at the closing table receiving your money? And then number three, after everything is said and done, all commissions are paid, what are you going to walk away with in your pocket? If having these 3 pieces of information would be helpful and useful to you, when you look me up, you'll see I have sold over 150 homes in the past 12 months. We do specialize in this area of Dallas, and it would be my honor and pleasure to potentially assist you and your partners. Thank you for your time, Lupe, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Maybe just listening to
Oh,
further game days.
yeah, okay. So you're not looking to sell it today unless someone stops off with like a suitcase full of cash, huh? I appreciate you. My job is to get families paid. That's what I do. And I'm just curious. I mean, if you did sell the home, where would you go? You know? Hmm. Hello? Hello? Yeah, got it. I mean, we live in a big country and there's plenty of opportunity everywhere, right?
So no appointment set, but that is a good lead and a follow-up. And I'm sure I'll get it at some point. Jesse, I have a template email that I send people. If you want to see what that looks like, I'm happy to send it to you. I'll drop my number in the chat and y'all can send me a text. All right, well, I am going to go take my mindset break and go for a walk. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I've officially been making calls for an hour and a half, and that is a good point to take a break and go and get fresh air. I'm going to do this for 90 days. So Monday through Friday for the next 89 days, you guys can log on and prospect with me. We also have a prospecting room. If any of you are looking for a prospecting room, there's so many gangsters in there, great agents setting appointments. Feel free to reach out to me and I'd be happy to give you access. It is free. I am not, this is not a ploy to sell coaching. It is a ploy if you're interested in joining EXP, however. If you'd like to learn more about that, I'm always happy to talk about it. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day.